a special guest on the phone. We talk about Twitter a lot. That's where we like to play, and it's a horrible place a lot of times, but sometimes it's an awesome place.
Thanks to people like this.
Thanks to people like this, and I say this, I'm not joking at all. If I could only follow one Twitter account out there, especially during the Cubs season, it would be a Dom.
Cubs in 4.
Cubs in 4. Dom joins us now. How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me. Something for it's right.
Not a problem. So, all right, give somebody the quick pitch. What's your account about? How would you describe it?
I'm basically a very biased Cubs fan who likes to look at the positive side of things and likes to make jokes and run with sticks that's been going on for 5 or 6 years and. Try to give a positive light to things, try to have fun, try to poke fun at things, and it's mainly a comedic thing, but I'm obviously a big Cubs fan and believe in the team, so that's how it is.
And the Cubs themselves seem to dig the fact that you dig the team, too.
Yeah, I think everyone likes to have fun with it. I think there's a lot of I just think there's a lot of funny things with baseball, and then when you're talking about other teams that you're playing, the Brewers and the Cardinals and the White Sox, even though they get really sensitive when you talk about them, there's a lot of funny things on the internet. Like you guys just talked about Twitter being a funny place. It can be a bad place at times, but there's so much creativity on the site and then the internet in general that you can come up with new things and it can just be fun. It's a creative outlet for me, and again, I have a lot of fun with it.
When did you start the account? I think I became aware of you maybe 2 years ago or something when somebody was tweeting out one of your morale speeches, and then I hooked onto it. When did you start the account?
Yeah, so I started tweeting like this back in 2014 when obviously the Cubs didn't start their run yet, so it was kind of when Soler came up, and Rizzo was there, and Cubs were kind of antsy about how this whole rebuild thing was going to go, and then covering Lester when he signed and Madden coming in, and then kind of that run starting in 15 and then so on and so forth. That's kind of how it started. The whole Dom thing kind of happened organically. I don't even remember the tweet, but I might have tweeted something out like I should be the director of morale, and then people kind of ran with it, and then I kind of took it from there, and you make a few jokes and you do a couple shticks for a while, and you come up with some funny stuff, and then people latch on. And I'm very grateful for how many supportive and loyal followers there are.
One thing I like about your account is honestly, if we just read some of your tweets right now, it wouldn't be that funny to people because it's something you kind of have to absorb over time. And the more you follow your stuff, the more your jokes hit, the funnier they become. When did you first know that somebody from the organization was paying attention to what you were tweeting?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there was, I heard from the grapevine from other people like in Chicago media talking about it, and me building relationships with them, figuring out that I wasn't this crazy person. I think people just see me account and think I'm an absolute nut job, which I do tweet like, a crazy person, but for people to see that I was kind of reasonable at the same time behind the account, and and then once some players started following along, and you get some recognition there, and other Cubs beat writers and things like that. But yeah, it was probably back when Cap and I David Kaplan, we started building our relationship back in, I think we met in 2016, started talking, and I've done interviews with him, and we talk a lot. So that's kind of when it started, and then it's just kind of built ever since, year by year, month by month. And again, I'm really appreciative of that.
You guys are just joining us. We're spending some time we're just going to go with Dom, director of morale for the Chicago Cubs, self-build on Twitter. You'll want to follow along. Just go into your Twitter search, type in DOM, and you'll get there right away. All right, you found out some of the Cubs were digging what you were doing. I need to ask, what team's fans have been the biggest jerks to you during all of this?
Oh, man, that's a great question. Well, it comes down to the Brewers, Cardinals, and White Sox. They're all a little different. I don't hate I don't hate any of the teams. I know that might sound weird saying that a Cubs fan doesn't hate the Cardinals. I really don't hate the Cardinals. I just think they do a lot of stuff that's really dumb, and their fan base isn't the smartest. Probably out of those three, they're not the smartest. White Sox fans are probably the most sensitive. They will take any single thing you say, any single little joke, very subtle, anything, and they will get very frustrated with it. And then Brewers fans are just kind of like, they kind of like lay in the weeds and just wait for like the perfect moment to like pounce on you whenever, you know, if they like do well or something in a game. Or probably the worst was when the Cubs lost at 163 2 years ago. That was a tough one. I got it pretty good, but you know, I'll just say in general, White Sox fans are pretty sensitive. I think they have a really good team. I'm not bashing them, but they will. You cannot poke fun at them at all without getting a lot of blowback. So probably White Sox fans.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And how much grief have you taken this morning over your error comment on last night's play?
You know, it used to give me just because I was obviously joking more towards Christian Yelich and the fact that he told you, Darvish, that no one needs any help facing him, and he's come out and been statistically the worst player in the MLB. And if it wasn't for Eloy, you know, whatever he was doing out in left field, if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have an inside the park home run. And he's probably hitting like 180 this morning. So Christian's got to get it whatever way he can these days. That was more of a, you know, I'm poking fun at Christian. My guy Christian, I don't hate Christian. I actually like him, but
yeah, I want to make sure that's. I want to make sure that's clear. Christian Yelich seems to become target number one for you recently. Have you had interactions with him on Twitter? Has he reached out to you at all?
Yeah, no, we've gone back and forth a little bit. So it really started was back 2 years ago when, again, David Kaplan tweeted that he had heard that supposedly it was like one of the last few games in the 2018 season, Christian asked to get an off day while they were playing the Cubs. I just then forwarded that message. Christian then came back at me, said it wasn't true, all this type of stuff. And then from there, we've gone back and forth. I think he knows that I just, you know, I poke fun, and, you know, it's mainly comedy stuff. So, you know, he's a good player, but it doesn't mean we can't have some laughs with some of the stuff he does and the rivalry, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, it's fun.
And you've paired up with Schwarber in the past. He seems to really dig the stuff you're doing, and you guys were selling some shirts. A place to buy stuff from you. I personally do have a couple of your shirts, and I will say this: high quality garments. I appreciate.
Thank you.
I appreciate the care you guys take. If somebody wants to buy some stuff from you, where can they go?
Yeah, it's Morale Supply. We have the store open right now. We do limited releases, so. Different shirts come out at different times, and they'll be available for, you know, a couple days or a week or so, and then they'll be gone. But with the Schwarber thing, yeah, we connected with one another. I really wanted to help out his foundation. We've you know, raised a lot of money for Anthony Rizzo's foundation 2 years ago. We've raised money for other foundations within the city, and then I just felt like, you know, I thought it would be organic, and considering that he's our left fielder, I've been saying it ever since he blew out his knee in Arizona, for whatever it was 4 years ago. You know, he's our left fielder, and he's not a DH. He's a solid player. He's a consistent first-round draft pick, which is exactly why Theo drafted him, a guy who can be productive every day. And, you know, I just love the guy. I'll run through a brick wall for him. So we were able to connect, figure out a way to raise some money for his charity, and we were luckily able to, I think the final number is over $7,000. So that went to his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. We were very thankful for that, and the support he's shown to, you know, our account and the store and everything that we all do. He's very appreciative of it, and he's a great guy, and hopefully continue to do stuff in the future.
Do you have a regular daytime job? I can't picture this one paying all the bills too.
Yeah, no, I have a regular job. I'm pretty busy. I try to you know, try to manage my time the best I can. I try to be really subtle with what I do. But but yeah, I have a regular job and other interests outside of just tweeting about the Cubs. But
that's what you do best.
It's you know, like I said before, it's a creative outlet for me. It's a way for me to, you know, just write jokes and come up with things that I think are interesting and funny. And if it makes me laugh, then I'm probably going to tweet it. Yeah, it's something that I enjoy doing, and it's, again, a creative outlet, a way to connect with fans, build a little community, and hopefully spread some type of positivity with, as well, you know, making some jokes.
One last question before we go. In this, I think it was this past off season, you got a little dust up with Doug Glanville, who he tweeted out that he should be the director of morale, and your followers are loyal. By the way, they will go out and address any issues you have. Was that an inside joke? Did he know what he was doing? And are you guys all right now too?
No, that was more of a Jesse Rogers thing. Jesse, I don't think is very fond of me. I think some of his takes about the Cubs, he will conveniently, you know, spell doomsday whenever it will fit, you know, for people to start, you know, liking his stuff. Jesse does a good job at times. Sometimes I just think he goes a little bit overboard with his takes on the Cubs. So it was more a Jesse Rogers thing, and he was just referring to Doug Glanville being the director of morale, which there's only one Dom. There's only one Dom. And, you know, I think people understand that as the years go on. But, yeah, it's more Jesse. We'll see if we can get Jesse to come around. I'm trying to get Cap and Mark Silverman over at ESPN 1000, you know, get Jesse to come around one of these years and start getting it. But, yeah, it was funny, and I have no problem with Doug Glanville. He does a good job.
But for the time being, no Jesse Rogers, right?
No Jesse Rogers. Then there's no space. There's no space. It's very important. It's you know, first name, last name together. And again, like you said, you have to really follow along to understand the jokes.
Yeah, you know. Let's we got some time. So the spaces thing. Just to explain to people, if somebody gets it, if you tweet somebody's name and there's an extra space in their name, it means they've done good and they've elevated to another tier. If you start removing spaces in between their names, it means they're on the bad list. When did you start that? Do you remember the first player that got a space or lost a space?
Yeah, so the first player that lost the space is Jason Hayward, and that was specifically because, you know, you only have whatever it is, what is it, 800, or not 800, 240 characters in a tweet, right? So you have to be efficient with the, you know, how many characters you're using, you know, words you're using. So when I'm trying to make a long tweet, it's like if I have to say Jason Hayward in the tweet, you know, sometimes you don't want to say Jason, people don't know what you're talking about, and Hayward can just be too lax. Jason Hayward's like very specific. It's very to the point. It's like you're being reprimanded or you're being scolded. But I don't want to waste a space in the middle of his first and last name because I only have so many characters. So it got to the point where, you know, players that I wasn't really fond of or players that weren't doing very well, they would lose their space. But then when it came to like Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo, and I won't even put Anthony Rizzo really in the same tweet because that's how big his space is. I wanted to show respect. And I wanted to make sure that someone like Chris Bryant got that space because he's earned it. That's his name. And of course, I'm joking, but you know, I'm showing some respect to people who really earn that way and earn that space. You know, when you say Chris Bryant very respectfully as a kind gesture. So that's really where it came from. It's really stupid, but you know. Whatever it is, 5 years or so of doing it, and it's turned into a running joke.
The best stuff
seems to work.
Stupid. Yeah,
it seems to work. Now, you guys, this is the follow that if you're on Twitter, you're going to want to grab. Dom _ Frederick is how you find it on Twitter. You'll be glad that you did. You'll find a lot of wonderful things in there. You're doing a great job, man. We really appreciate you carving time out of your day for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on, and I'd love to come back on in the future if you guys want. Thanks again. I appreciate it.
We would love it. Thanks for your time.